today's global supply chains, products and their component parts and materials come from all over the world, particularly for environmental issues. It's critically important as they flow from the raw materials to the manufacturers, to the retailer, and then ultimately consumers, that there's transparency and trust at each stage along the way that the product is what it claims to be and in fact is more sustainable.
Everyone wants sustainability, but until we reach out to each other and collaborate and connect those dots, we won't make progress. How can you prove to me that the trucks that drove around to pick up the recycle in the first place did not use more energy than you say by putting post-consumer recycle in there? And that's the day that I realized how complicated sustainability is in our global supply chain.
ULE can have a very important role to play. Really what we're about fundamentally is building trust and transparency. If consumers can't trust what's on a product, the claims that are being made, then trust erodes all the way along.
ULE looks at our specifications and manufacturing operations, and they try to connect the dots to make sure that what we're saying we're doing is actually happening. So I think that process has given us an added level of confidence. We do our own audits, but this is just yet another level of scrutiny.
The ThinkPad T420 is the first computer to be certified as ULE Gold. We're very proud of that. That is an achievement in and of itself. They're sold all over the world, so it's a very important statement for us to focus on that product and make sure that it is, a sustainable product.
I think it's important from a resource standpoint. We're not using new resources. We're not going through the effort of mining new materials and extracting new materials. We know we have this stream of used equipment out there, and if we could start to mine that return stream and have that be what we're mining for our materials, I think that makes a whole lot of sense. At Lenovo, we've looked at designing our products from the very beginning stages of the development cycle with the intent of having them be easily recycled. We do that by minimizing the numbers of different materials that we use so that they can be easily recycled at the end of life.
Once the user is done with it and it goes to end of life, then it will go to a recycling center where it's broken apart into its individual parts. Plastic goes one place and the metals go someplace else, and it's all recycled.
This was a challenge for us and also for our suppliers because typically post-consumer recycled content has not been used in really high engineering types of applications. Notebooks have been particularly challenging to get recycled content into because of the performance characteristics that are required. They've got to be light, they've got to be very durable, people drop them, people abuse them.
This is not an easy thing to do, but the recycled content that we put into our ThinkPad, by adding it, it still had to meet the same quality standards that the original material would have.
SABIC makes materials. We are a materials company. There's only a limited amount of oil available, and by tapping into post-consumer recycle, we are expanding our supply base for materials.
There are multiple benefits to recycling plastics. One, you keep it out of a landfill. Two, you can then turn it back into another plastic product with a lower carbon footprint because it utilized that PCR, that post-consumer recycled source.
Consumers use products every day such as laptops, cell phones, soda bottles, and other electronic devices. Making a consistent plastic from those materials, it takes a lot of technology and innovation.
Our goal when we use post-consumer recycle is to make a product that our customers cannot differentiate from a prime product with respect to quality. We engage our procurement team as well as our technology team early in that process to ensure that we have a good, usable post-consumer source. We then work with our customers, listen to the voice of the market, and determine what that plastic needs to be in order to be successful.
For us, the value that UL Environment brings is to help us have trust in the recycled streams we're utilizing, and then also convey that trust to our customers.
With every test, with every assessment, with every certification that we do, we know that we can continue to help build and deliver the trust that people have put in us for more than 100 years.
We want to get a return on that investment that we've made in designing these products to be green. So by having a company like UL Environment take a look at our claims and take a look at our products, it helps to validate all that work we put in. It gives us another level of scrutiny into our processes, and that includes scrutiny into our supply chain. There was a benefit there, and it provided confirmation that our systems were robust and we were able to have the right controls in place to build the products as we thought we were building them.
Gold certification from UL is extremely rigorous. It's not an easy process, but it's very valuable to us because it reconfirms the claims that we've made.
We worked with UL Environment to validate our claims on several post-consumer recycled products. The process involved a lot of upfront communication with UL Environment. They then audited our plants as well as our records, in addition to auditing our suppliers and their plants.
In the case of the sustainable product certification, UL actually physically went and tore down our ThinkPads and our monitors. They looked through to make sure we really were designing them to be easily recycled at the end of life. It's exciting to work with a company like UL Environment that's setting the standard for meaningful environmental claims.
Companies come to UL because they know that we're going to deliver on trust. They know that if they're working with UL, we're going to apply rigorous standards, we're going to do it with expertise and quality, and that at the end of the day, when they've earned that UL mark, it's going to be trusted.